Hiya novies! Sequels are always great. Can you think of some of your favorite sequels? Here's a few examples. The greatest film ever, Cars 2, the sequel to the hit movie Cars. There's also some other great sequels like Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Squeakquel. I guess those were just movie sequels, but there's also a bunch of good game sequels. Some that come to mind are Sonic Adventure 2, which is a sequel to the hit game Sonic Adventure. Wow, would have never guessed. You can't forget about the greatest sequel, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which is way better than the first one. Sorry, Xenoblade fans. P.S. I never actually played Xenoblade 1. I played it for like 5 minutes and then I stopped. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Anyways, back to the topic of Kirby and not different games people probably didn't come here for. Kirby's Dream Land 2, which sounds like it would be a sequel to Kirby's Dream Land, but I guess it's kind of the start of its own thing. It's what we Kirby fans like to call the Dark Matter Trilogy. Do I even have the audacity to call myself a Kirby fan? I mean, I can't even beat Kirby's Dream Course. Actually, yes, I do have the audacity to call myself a Kirby fan. Anyways, the Dark Matter Trilogy contains 3 Kirby games. Kirby's Dream Land 2, Dreamland 3, and Kirby 64. Where's Kirby's Dreamland 55? Come on, HAL Laboratories, you can do better. Super awesome fun fact here. You know most Kirby fans will say this is the worst game in the series? Like, they obviously haven't played Kirby's Dream Course, or even Kirby Super... You know, I think that joke's getting old. You guys get tired of me talking about Kirby Superstar like that all the time? Fine, I'll change it up. I guess the game can't be as bad as Kirby Planet Robobot. I'm sorry, Kirby fans. Please don't hurt me. I love Kirby Planet Robobot. I'm sorry, please. Alright, it's time to actually talk about the game, because I love these lengthy intros, so I guess I'll start now. The story is apparently that this dark force has stolen the rainbow bridges that connect the 7 rainbow islands. Okay, first of all, why in the fuckity fuck is there so many rainbows in here? Like, it's a Game Boy game. There's nothing wrong with rainbows, but why in this game? You can't even see the rainbows. It's all green or gray depending on whatever console you use. This is just stupid. This is dumb. Why is there rainbows? Why is there rainbows in a Game Boy game? That's like me calling my game Super Rainbow Bros Ultimate and putting rainbows everywhere in it. That's stupid. I'm just glad the plot isn't involved around King Dedede this time. King Dedede finally stopped stealing stuff. Finally we could breathe. Finally he can, like, redeem himself as a character. Because the spin-off games kind of ruined that. I don't know why. They make him, like, redeem himself in Adventure, and then they just make him steal stuff again in the spin-off games, but whatever, that's besides the point. Finally, the gameplay. Let's see what makes this game such a good sequel. Well, it's more like the 3rd game in the series, because, you know, we had Adventure, I guess, so it's more like Kirby's Dream Land 3, technically speaking, but whatever, that's besides the point, I don't really care. So, Kirby's Dream Land 2 has copy abilities, which were from Adventure, which is good, because we all love copy abilities, well, except me, because I, like, never use them, at least in the older titles. They got knocked out in one hit, so I didn't like using them. I know you didn't ask, but I thought I would share it anyways. There's only 8 copy abilities in this one, which you might be saying, Galaxia, I hate that! Kirby's Adventure had 20-something! This is why Kirby's Dream Land 2 sucks, and it's bad! Well, that's kind of fair. But does Kirby's Adventure have a hamster? Yeah, I didn't think so. Kirby's Dream Land 2's special gimmick is having the animal friends, which is Rick, Kine, and Kook. Animal friends that you can ride on. Each animal friend is different. Rick the hamster being the best one, because, you know, I love hamsters. He's just a land creature, good for the ground. Koo the owl is good for the air, and you'll never guess what kind the fish is. You'll never guess. Did you guess? It is, of course, the water. Wow, so cool. I love water levels. So you're probably wondering, what makes these animal friends so important when you can just copy the abilities instead and use those copy abilities instead? Well, the animal friends get copy abilities too. Well, I guess it's still just Kirby's copy ability, but, you know, it's like a different version of the ability. For example, if you have Kirby Cutter, the cutter will just go forward. But if you have Rick Cutter, the cutter will go all around. If you have the Koo Cutter, the cutter will be like 3 different cutters. And if you have Kine Cutter, which who cares, but fine, I guess it's like a bigger cutter. I don't know, it's stupid. But yeah, each ability has like 3 different versions because of the animal friends. So, how do I do math for a second? What's 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8? Where's my assistant when you need them? Huh. Let me Google that real quick. Okay, it looks like it's 32. This is why I barely passed high school. So yeah, folks, that's quite a lot of abilities for the Game Boy. Even though most of them are just the same thing, but like, a little bit better. Or like, worse, actually, because some of the abilities are worse. Kirby's Dream Land 2 has 7 worlds, which is a whole lot better than the 5 worlds from Kirby's Dream Land. So I guess it really is a sequel. Though it has so many worlds, the levels are very short. But I prefer it like that, because if you don't like one level, boom, there's another one right after that. So it might be okay. Usually I would like to talk about the worlds, but there's nothing really interesting about these ones. Just greens, rock, sky, water. Nothing really too cool except Dark Castle, but I guess that's just a castle that's dark. Doesn't mean the game's boring though, far from it. This game is very hard, at least for a Kirby game. I think I got a few game overs while playing this game, which is like impossible to get in Kirby. So why is Kirby's Dream Land 2 so hard? I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm really bad, or it could be actually the game's actually hard, which is kind of fun actually until you die more than 3 times, and then it gets really annoying. But it's kind of funny. That's where I think the game's issues come from, though, is that the game could be straight up unfair sometimes, like the moving level in Dark Castle just kills you for going the wrong way. Sometimes deaths don't feel like it's your fault. Once again, I think I'm just really bad at video games, but I think it could be an actual issue with the game. It just feels unfair sometimes and difficult for no reason. I know, I could stop crying like a little baby and adapt to the game, but nobody really plays Kirby games to adapt. Believe it or not, some people don't like sweating in video games. So I could see why Kirby fans think this game is annoying or not very good or even just mediocre. But wait a minute, am I seeing the other side of an argument right now? Hang on, let me throw out an insult real quick. Anyone who thinks this game sucks, you suck, and you're mediocre. Even though I don't even think this game is all too good, I just think it's alright. I don't even know why I'm defending it. Alright, now it's time for the bosses, because I love talking about the bosses. First we have Wispy Woods. Wait a minute, you're telling me Wispy Woods is in this game? Never mind, I love this game. This is my favorite game ever now. Wispy Woods apparently has COVID-19 though. Oh no, not Wispy Woods! The next boss is Nruff. That's how you say it, right? I don't know. I don't like this boss though. I hate the bosses that make me chase them around, so this one kinda sucks. Sweet Stuff is an underwater boss. You guys know how I feel about underwater levels, so this boss is not sweet, and it's not stuff. Ooh, this next boss is a classic. Ice Dragon, which appears in other Kirby games. He's cute. I like Ice Dragon. I'm not gonna talk about Mr. Shine and Mr. Bright again. They're still very annoying and pretty hard if you're not using a copy ability. But this time, I'll use a copy ability and it should be fine. It isn't that bad. Kracko, which is a cloud boss. We talked about him plenty of times already. He has little babies this time he throws at you. How cute. I love the little cracker babies. I mean, Kracko babies. So yeah, the bosses are pretty mediocre, I'm not gonna lie. They weren't really fun either. More annoying than fun, except like Wispy Woods and Kracko. And Ice Dragon, I guess. But they're just alright. Have you been collecting those rainbow drops? I sure hope you have, because you're not getting to the final boss without them. You know what? I would like to take a section of this video to talk about this type of gameplay, because I hate it. Kirby 64 does this, and it's like super annoying. You need to collect everything to get the true ending and fight the true final boss. And finding stuff in this video games are hard. Like, it takes forever to find some of this stuff, and you like need a YouTube tutorial to do it half the time. Like, I'm pretty sure nobody will be able to find half the crap in Kirby 64 and Kirby's Dream Land 2 without a YouTube video. Alright, you get the Dark Castle. You can finally find the guy who's been causing all this. This stupid bastard's gonna pay. Wait a minute, is that who I think it is? What the hell? What the fuck? Not again, King Dedede? This is why nobody thinks you have a redemption arc. Like, come on, broski. This motherfucker, King Dedede, thinks he's so cool. He's sleeping while fighting you. What an asshole! After beating him up yet again for the 5th time, dark matter appears out of him. So, it wasn't him? I would like to formally apologize to King Dedede. I'm sorry. I sure hope you don't get possessed in the future. Love you, Pookie. So you know all those rainbow drops you were collecting, with all that pain and suffering? Well, the reason they wanted to give you to collect all those is that there's a sword. This rainbow sword, which is gray and not actually rainbow colored because, once again, it's on the effing Game Boy. It's kind of a cool sword though, I kind of like it, it's kind of quirky. So the sword shoots you up to the sky because, you know, it's just that cool of a sword. I sure wish I was that cool. Anywho, you have to fight this masked swordsman, which is not Meta Knight. He wants to beat him so bad. So kind of a funny story. I was fighting this guy, and I didn't know I was supposed to reflect those ball things back at him. So I kept trying to hit him with the sword instead, and I kept dying. It was really annoying, because I thought the boss was super unfair, but once you knew how to reflect those balls back, it wasn't that bad. I was just kind of stupid. Once you destroy his form, he has a second form, which is an eyeball. I'm sure most of you guys know very well what that is. It's basically the same fight though, a little bit changes, but you just reflect the ball things and then pretty easy, bro's dead. Kirby slowly floats down to the surface. All the animal friends and King Dedede see that the world is saved. And a giant rainbow shoots into the background. How cute! It's a pretty good ending for a Game Boy game. I have to say I'm impressed that this game's even on the Game Boy in the first place. Just how I was with Adventure being on the NES. Kirby developers really know how to do that, don't they? Overall, it's definitely not as bad as what most Kirby fans make it out to be, but it's definitely not a Kirby game people need to play. It's just kind of there if you want a little bit of a challenge with Kirby, or you want to kill yourself while playing. One of the two. It doesn't really matter. It's not that bad though. It's fine. It's a fine game. If you want a bit of a harder Kirby experience, I think you should try it out. Now, if you don't really care for an unfair challenge, just play a better game, which is Kirby Star Allies on the Nintendo Switch. But yeah, that was my super epic awesome review of Kirby's Dreamland 2. I hope it was enjoyable enough. I personally don't mind this game, like half of it anyways. The other half is just kind of meh. Anywho, bye Anobis!